the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark wants to be on the team, but who cares? She knows that in all likelihood she didn't deserve it. She's a rookie.
I'm firmly convinced that the WNBA and women's basketball are missing a golden opportunity to shine.
Team USA and the WNBA and all of these folks shouldn't be thinking about marketing and it's about what's going to be unfair to the other ladies, blah, 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 blah. Go after Caitlin Clark. Beat her down as much as you possibly can. Get the best of her.
It's reminiscent of that eager player who keeps saying, "Coach, put me in. I want to play," without having put in the necessary preparation or study. Now that we have the spotlight on us, particularly with Caitlin Clark in the mix, how can we justify not including her on the Olympic team?
And I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport. She carried a heavy load for our sport, and it just is not going to stop here on the collegiate tour. But when she is the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, she's gonna lift that league up as well. So Caitlin Clark, if you're out there, you are one of the GOATs of our games, and we appreciate you.
What are the decision makers thinking? Clark herself has taken the news in stride, saying, "I think it gives you something to work for. It's a dream." This shows her determination to keep pushing forward. I believe that the WNBA has some important lessons to learn, particularly regarding the preparation of young players. To all the young athletes out there, before you start complaining about not getting enough playing time, make sure you are ready for the opportunities that come your way.
You don't sit up there and pass on Caitlin Clark. It was stupid, Team USA. It was a dumb decision. Everybody, there's always somebody that's a sacrificial lamb. I respect the hell out of Rebecca Lobo and what she broke down. I understand it. It was a stupid decision.
Many players often say, "They don't even let me in the game." But instead of focusing on that, they should concentrate on preparing themselves for when their moment arrives.
Honestly, I think work really hard. Have dreams, chase them, but also there's going to be moments that are really hard and there's going to be moments that are great. That's what every single person goes through in their life, whether you want to be a professional athlete, whatever you want to do, there's going to be moments of hardship and then a lot of amazing moments, but that's what makes, the moments of really great time, that's what makes it so amazing. So I think don't let anybody tell you can't do something. You can achieve whatever you want in life.
Injuries or other circumstances can create unexpected chances to play. Women's basketball is facing a similar challenge. There's a lot of discussion about wanting to be comparable to the men's game, yet there hasn't been enough emphasis on preparing young women for the media spotlight and the demands of the sport. Then they get Caitlin Clark. Who cares where she's from or what she looks like, right? The point is, she's a total superstar. She's packing arenas like crazy. I'm talking huge numbers.
Caitlin Clark sold out Washington, D.C.'s arena. Over 20,000 people showed up to watch her team, the Indiana Fever, who were 2-9, play against a winless Washington WNBA franchise. Usually the Washington WNBA franchise plays in an arena with only 4,500 seats. Because Caitlin Clark was coming to D.C., they sold out what is usually, I believe, the Wizards Arena where the Washington Capitals play. I've been and watched games there. Over 20,000 seats. They're all showing up for Caitlin Clark. I shared you the data on WNBA viewership. It all is coming basically from Caitlin Clark.
I saw this thing online. The team she played against, they usually play in a small place with 7,500 people. But because of Caitlin, they had to move the game to a bigger arena with over 20,000 seats. The Olympics are on the horizon, and while Stephen A. and others can debate the topic, the decision regarding the Olympic basketball team has stirred up quite the conversation.
If you wanna go from a marketing perspective, sure, Caitlin is extremely marketable. However, I just want to pitch this to everyone. Imagine Caitlin joining this team and spending time on the bench. What is the conversation going to be about the entire time the Olympics is going on? Why isn't Caitlin getting more minutes? Why isn't Caitlin playing? I'm sure people will tune in, but what will the conversation be then?
Sure, Caitlin Clark being a rookie might not seem like a natural fit for the team, especially since she's not yet considered one of the top players.
I think it's really interesting. Head coach Christy Sides for the Indiana Fever said that a monster was woken up in Caitlin Clark, and I think that is wonderful. I think motivation for Caitlin is wonderful. I'm going to say this. A monster has been woken in all of the women that were selected for the Olympic team also because the conversation is again centered around Caitlin Clark. If your only argument for Caitlin is that it would have been a great marketing opportunity and you don't have basketball experience or chemistry with the group listed in your reasoning, I don't want to hear it.
But let's think about the marketing angle here. This is a prime opportunity to stir up some buzz.
I actually looked up how much the tickets are going for. I kind of cut that price in half.
Sites like SeatGeek are charging hundreds and thousands for a seat at Carver Hawkeye. She says the attention for the sport has grown a lot in the 15 years she's been a super fan.
Friend of mine manages one of the restaurants down on the strip, and they were checking with me. It's like, oh, you know when the games are going to be? Tell me. Like, we're going to be smashed this weekend.
The whole Iowa City, Coralville area feeling the economic boom.
Imagine if Caitlin Clark was included. Suddenly, everyone is talking. Why is she on the team? Shouldn't she be there? Who is this Caitlin Clark?
The estimated economic impact of a women's basketball game on a weekend is more than $1 million this year as it was compared to 2020 just before the pandemic. The women's basketball team is driving people to Iowa City, and then once they're here, they're going to the restaurants, they're going to bars.
Businesses like Big Grove Brewery capitalizing on the excitement, offering deals and contests for Hawkeye games.
It's a place where they can come and still have fun and let loose and maybe not be at Carver Hawkeye Arena, but you still get that excitement and that energy, and I think just the buzz of being here in a space so large is really a draw for people.
If she goes overseas and captures attention, it brings more viewers, more sponsorships, and ultimately more focus on the WNBA.
That you're wrong. It's that we don't care. Everything y'all said does not matter for this particular instance. We don't want to hear anything about Team USA. We know they won 7 straight goals. Put Andrea and Shanae up on this screen. I want to look at them this whole segment when I'm talking to them. You just highlighted 7 straight gold medals. Oh my God. We're really worried that they're not going to get an 8th. Oh, we really worried. I mean, we got to make sure that spots 1 through 12, every single such spot that is picked. I mean, it's got to be, because it's pivotal, Shannon. I don't know if you noticed, Shannon, it's pivotal. I mean, they won 7 straight. They might not get 8. They might not get 8. Stop it. You know good and damn well with or without Caitlin Clark, they gonna probably win the gold again. That's not what this conversation is about.
Yet there seems to be a reluctance to embrace her potential, possibly because of the pressures women face in the spotlight. Stephen A. has some strong opinions on this matter.
This is about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster. Okay, if we're talking just basketball.
All right, let me just say this. I really appreciate women. Seriously, I think women are amazing. God created you all for a purpose, even if that purpose has sometimes caused a few headaches for men throughout history. But overall, women bring so much positivity into our lives.
This girl is box office. I said a rising tide lifts all boats. What you do, especially if you're Team USA and you're trying to be globalized, it is an opportunity to globalize the WNBA brand. So people like Brittany Griner, God bless her soul, and others don't have to go to Russia in the off season, play additional basketball to get extra income. They could stay right here if the sport elevates its popularity and you ladies start getting what you richly deserve. I'll even get a bit personal to Chinea Gumake and Andrea Carter.
Now, when it comes to the discussion around Caitlin Clark and her spot on the Olympic team, there's a bit of a divide between emotional and logical thinking.
I recognize the fact that y'all are outstanding basketball analysts. You know how I feel about both of y'all. I told you privately, I've told the world publicly. I think y'all are a tag team for the ages. I think y'all are spectacular. but as spectacular as you are about talking the game of basketball, is that why you think I call for you to be on First Take? It ain't just because of your expertise. It's because you're great television. You matter.
I get it. Her supporters have valid points, and from her perspective, it makes total sense to want her on the team. But then you have Stephen A. Smith, who approaches this from a more analytical angle.
You draw an audience. This man, I don't even call Shannon anymore unless I'm teasing him about the Saturday Night Live skit. It's the truth, Shannon. That's the only time I call him Shannon. You know what I call him now? I call him Shay. Or Shay. Why? Because damn it, that brand is growing. You understand what this man has done to help lift First Take?
He's looking at the numbers and the overall situation. People are buzzing about Caitlin Clark, and it's all about the logic behind her inclusion. Sure, there's an emotional side to this, but you can't build a team based solely on feelings. When you analyze the stats, it's clear that Clark is a game changer. Who cares what kind of chatter she might generate from the bench? The fact is, she's going to attract attention to the game, and that's what really matters. Those women are undeniably attractive, but their perspective on this issue isn't aligned with mine. While their points might resonate with them, it's clear they're not considering the bigger picture for the WNBA. The public's interest in the Olympic women's basketball team winning year after year has significantly waned. It's become predictable and lacks the excitement needed to capture a wider audience. Introducing a dynamic player like Caitlin Clark into the mix could potentially reignite interest. Even if she doesn't see extensive playing time, her mere presence on the team would spark conversations and generate buzz. A few well-placed three-pointers could elevate her status and contribute to the team's overall success, ultimately boosting the WNBA's popularity. He's highlighting a fascinating dynamic in sports media, the undeniable power of visual appeal. These women are not only exceptional athletes, but also possess striking physical attributes. This combination is a potent draw for viewers, particularly in a male-dominated landscape like sports commentary. When you're channel surfing and a visually captivating person catches your eye, it's natural to pause and take notice. This phenomenon is evident in the demographics of popular sports talk shows like those hosted by Shay and Stephen A. Primarily male audiences tune in to hear sports analysis, but the inclusion of attractive female co-hosts can significantly broaden the show's appeal. It's a strategic move that can increase the viewership and engagement. The reality is, people are drawn to attractive individuals, and that's just how it goes. If someone like Caitlin Clark is on screen, you can bet that viewers will stick around for at least a minute or two just to hear what she has to say. It's not just her looks, it's the whole package. And let's be honest, neither she nor the other women in the spotlight are unattractive. If they were, would anyone really care about their basketball opinions? Now, I'm not trying to be harsh here, but it feels like some folks aren't keeping it real. Is it sexist to point this out? I don't think so. Just look at any news anchor. They're typically good looking. You don't see men showing up in t-shirts. They're expected to dress formally to project a professional image. It's all about appearances. Take Shannon Sharpe, for example. He's a Hall of Famer and a legend, but not every football player can transition to TV. Shannon knows how to present himself well, and that's part of why he's successful. Stephen A. Smith, while a bit older, is still a decent-looking guy who knows how to communicate effectively. The truth is, networks tend to favor attractive people for on-screen roles. It's all about the image. If you want to be on TV, you've got to look the part. That's just the way it is. So while we can discuss the merits of their basketball insights, we can't ignore the fact that looks play a significant role in who gets airtime. Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the current buzz in women's basketball. She's the key player that teams need to leverage while they can, as her potential injury could significantly impact WNBA viewership. It's not about her as a person, it's a straightforward marketing strategy. When she's in the spotlight, fans flock to watch. If she's sidelined, the interest might wane. Some might grumble about team chemistry when it comes to her being selected, but let's be real, her ability to sink three-pointers speaks for itself. You don't need a perfect team dynamic to let her shoot. Just pass her the ball and watch her work her magic. In sports, everyone knows that sometimes the most marketable player gets the nod over the best player. This isn't just about talent, it's about who can sell tickets and merchandise. The player with the star power will attract fans and sponsors, and that's what ultimately benefits the entire team and organization. You might not like it, but here's the deal. If you snag a #1 draft pick, that player is going to hit the court, even if they're not quite ready. Everyone's curious about where that top pick comes from. Take Caitlin Clark, for example. She's making waves as the first overall pick and is playing more than any rookie ever has. Should she be playing this much? Maybe not, but her popularity is driving that decision. Honestly, I could talk about this forever, but let's wrap it up here. Catch you next time.